Friends, hello and welcome to Musings by Amit. A lot of you must have received your exam results. Now, for most of you, the results would have been good or very good. But there are a lot of people who would not be happy with their result. Whether you have given your 10th standard exam, whether you have given your 12th standard exam, or your graduation exam, the result can be poor or sometimes you might fail. So, this video is for anyone who's got a bad result or who has failed in his exams. Now, many times we think that these results are very important, and they are important to some extent. They are kind of a, a ticket to some success in the future. People who get really good results, or people who have really good degrees, or who study really hard, for them the ticket or the journey to success becomes easy. But what about those people who get poor marks or who fail in their exams? Is everything over for them? If you ask their parents, or if you ask the people around them, then everybody is going to tell you that everything is over for them. Because if you cannot get a good result, or if you fail in your exam, it is considered that that is the worst thing that can happen in your life. But I'm going to put a very contrary view, and if you have a poor result, then I would want you to watch this entire video, because it will change your mindset about everything about studies, exams, and results. I had a friend, I had a neighbor, and there my friend's auntie used to come and visit them. Now, she had a son who was of the same age as me and my neighbor, and she used to complain a lot about her son, especially in the department of studying. She used to tell that her son does not study well, he is not really paying attention in the class, he does not get good marks, and she used to complain a lot. And then in 12th standard, her son failed in the exam. Now, that was kind of the worst thing to happen for that auntie, because in a middle class family, the place from where I come from, studies is the most important thing. Your parents' entire hopes are that if you can study well, if you can get some good marks, if you can study some skills, and then you will get a good job, and that is what will give you success in life. That is what every middle class parents thinks, and she was thinking in the same manner. When her son failed, she was really upset, and she used to come to my neighbor's house, and she used to complain a lot about her son. Me and my neighbor, both of us, we completed our 12th, and then both of us went to do engineering in different places. I went to Pune, my friend went to Canada to complete his engineering, and we did our engineering. When I came back from engineering after 4 years, and then I got a job, I did a job, I got into business, I did my business. And one day I visited my neighbor, and I had come to meet my uncle and aunt, father of my friend. And my uncle told me something, and he talked about that boy who had failed in the 12th exam. He said, "Do you remember this boy?" And I said, "Yeah, I remember His mom used to come here and she used to complain a lot about him. What happened? Is he fine? And he said, do you know that he's become one of the top uh, graphic designers for architects? And I was totally shocked. I was shocked because at that point of time, that boy who had failed in 12th standard, he was earning more, almost 3 to 4 times more than anything I was earning at that point of time after becoming an engineer. So it seems that after failing the exam, this boy decided to do things on his own. He went out and he started finding out what are the ways that he can change his life. Okay, and he found that graphic designing, that this, I'm talking about a period of 1991, 1990s, when computers, even in our college, we had like 2 computers within 30 students. So this was the time. And in that time, he got introduced to computers, and then he started learning graphics on that. He mastered his graphic design skill, especially in architecture and other things using CAD and all. And then he started his own business where he was doing work for architects who used to make designs on paper, and then he used to convert those designs and give it to them. And slowly he started this business. By the time I met my uncle and we had this conversation, he was way ahead in his journey of success. So failing in 10th standard did not stop this guy from achieving success. If you have poor marks or if you have failed in any of your exam, it does not matter whether you have failed in 10th standard or 12th standard or in your graduation. It is not the end of the world. Exams and a degree is required to find a job. But if you cannot find a job, there are so many skills that you can learn, and then you can create your success, you can create your life. I remember another friend who was in 8th standard, he simply vanished from our class. So we were a class of 30 to 40 students, and we were all together from 1st standard till the 10th standard. And this boy came into our class somewhere in the 5th or 6th standard, and in 8th standard this boy vanished. And when somebody goes away from a class in the school, there are only 2 reasons that can happen. One is if he fails and he stays in the same class. So he vanished in 8th standard, then we thought if he fails in 7th standard, then maybe he is in the 7th standard. But we never saw him in the school. That means he would have shifted from the school. That's what is an assumption. So after a good period of time, all of these batch of 30-35 students from the same school, we all got to know each other on Facebook. We again had a reunion, and we even found this friend who had vanished in 8th standard. And we asked him what had happened, and then he told us that he had a challenge where he was not able to pay fees in 8th standard, and because of them that the school had removed him. This is 1980s, and he could not afford school. So he he stopped going to school. He started doing some odd jobs. Then somehow he gave 10th standard from outside. He cleared his 10th standard, and then he went and did ITI, that is Indian Technical Studies, which is kind of a 1 year course to learn maybe electronics or instrumentation, all these different kind of things that are required. Okay, so in ITI he did electronics, and on the basis of that he got a job in a very small company that was building electronic circuits. This boy learned everything that he could. After 1 or 2 years, he started his own electronics company. He started making the safety doors, okay, with the keypad locks, based on whatever he had learned from wherever he was working, based on that ITS certificate. When we met him, within our group, almost everybody was a graduate, some of them were masters, but within our group, he was kind of the richest guy in our group. It's almost like we studied and we got our engineering degrees, but that kept us in this box that we could only do this much. Whereas in both the cases, in the first case where the student failed in 12th standard, or in my friend's case where he could not continue with school in 8th standard, in both the cases they were free to do whatever they want to do. And when you're free to do whatever you want to do, and if you're ready to work hard, then you can make more success than you can even imagine in your life. So this is my message to everyone who's got poor marks, because poor marks is based on our understanding that this much I was supposed to get and this is what I got. That is what is poor marks, right? And a lot of people feel that if you get poor marks, that's over for them. Or if you fail, I know so many students who never failed in any exam, and suddenly in 12th standard, they failed in their main subjects that they were pursuing. For example, there are students who are pursuing engineering and then they fail in maths and science. If that happens, their dream of becoming an engineer is going to go out of the door or out of the window, right? But that is not the end. My only message to you, and if you are a student, if you are a parent of a student who's failed, sit down, relax, and think what are the other alternatives. Do you have any other skill that you can focus on? Maybe you are a very good sports person. Can you invest your time and energy into that? Maybe you are a very good musician. Can you invest your time into that? Or can you learn some skill which you can use? For example, there is a friend of mine whose son did not, he could not cope with the studies. Okay, so he joined an engineering college after 12th standard. In the first year itself, he could not cope with the studies and he failed in almost all the subjects, and then he stopped attending college. But what happened is that he was very much interested in drawing and other things. So his dad put him into an interior design course which just required 10th and 12th as the marks, and he did that 3 years of interior design course. And after that he started working with architects on design projects. He worked with few architects for 1 or 2 years, and now he has his own design studio. So if you fail, in fact, there are a lot of opportunities that can open up. If you are a parent of somebody who has failed, don't think that his career is over. Don't think that this is the only thing that he can do. Try to find out what he can do, which may not be about getting a college degree. What he can do, which may not be about just studying and getting the marks. Because if he's not interested in studies, if it is a struggle every day to clear the exams, then no matter what you do, even after you get that certificate in hand, it is not going to be of any help. Now, if I talk about myself, in my engineering college, I got average marks. Not the marks that you can be really proud of. But to tell you, Now it is 23 years since I became an engineer. I never had to show my engineering certificate to any of my bosses. My bosses did not look at my certificate and give me a job. None of them. Not a single company, not a single. Yes, in Sybase, when I was working with Sybase, I had to submit my certificates after I had got my job. But nobody looked at my certificate to call me for an interview, or after an interview think about giving me a job, because that did not matter. Did I work hard? Yes. After engineering, I put all my energy in mastering all the skills that I wanted to do. In fact, I am an electronics engineer, but I jumped into software and programming. So for me, after college, I had to learn programming from zero. But I made my entire career in software programming, and that was without having the adequate marks. So this video is dedicated to every person who had a really bad exam, who had a bad exam result, who think that their marks are poor or they have failed. This is a video where you have to understand that things are not over. It's just a new beginning. And start thinking in a different way. Start thinking about what you can do which will help you in your life ahead. I'll give you a last example. Do you remember when Sachin Tendulkar was getting out in single digits? There was a time when Sachin Tendulkar was getting out in 0, 1, 2, or within 9 runs he was getting out. I think there were 20 or 30 matches. Almost everyone was saying that Sachin Tendulkar should retire. He should not play any more cricket. Well, after that, if he would have given up, then today he would not be what he is. After that string of failures, after so many failures, he made a century. And not just that he made a century, but after that he made many more centuries. So my message to you is, don't give up on yourself. Exam and results are just a very small part of your life. Just think about it. If you're going to live for 80 years, 90 years, after that, this exam decides just 1 year of your life. You have your entire life, and you can use your time and energy to do whatever you want to do, to become whatever you want to become. Don't just depend on your results. Define a way forward and then walk on that way without looking back. Okay? This phase where you think you've lost everything is your past. It is gone. Now everything you do henceforth is going to create your future. If you think you have someone in your friends or family who has failed or who has got bad result, I would want you to share this video with them so that they get the inspiration and motivation. Thank you very much. Subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.